for a third-party review of documents seized from the Trump estate in Florida because they've already reviewed them in search of privileged information.
In court filings, the Justice Department says appointing a special master, as former President Trump has asked for, may be a moot point, that they went through the documents and are going through some of them with the Director of National Intelligence to see what may amount to a national security risk. However, they say they have found some material that may be protected by attorney-client privilege. Former federal prosecutor and now attorney on Trump's legal team, Jim Trusty, told Fox's Martha McCallum,
"We need a judge to monitor our access to these documents. We haven't had a single phone call from the filter team telling us anything. This is the first knowledge we had about their findings on attorney-client privilege."
He says it appears they're ignoring executive privilege and the Presidential Records Act.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal, the White House spokeswoman, still declining to comment on specifics, saying they have had no briefings on the documents. Spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre also deflecting questions about the entry of unvaccinated migrants along the southern border, while tennis star Novak Djokovic was barred from entering the U.S. because of his COVID vaccination status.
This is a CDC requirement for foreign nationals. This is something that they decide. This is something that is up to them.
Adding that the U.S. Open also has protocols and insisting it's not a U.S. policy to let in unvaccinated migrants. Police in Oregon say a grocery store employee is a hero for attacking a gunman in the produce section and trying to disarm him, likely saving lives. The employee, 66-year-old Donald Ray Surratt Jr., is one of two people killed during the shooting late yesterday at a Safeway supermarket in Bend. Police say the shooter was later found dead near two guns, including an assault rifle. Two others were injured. America is listening to Fox News.
The Labor Day event from Dell Technologies is here. End the summer strong by starting up a new season of productivity. Your business upgrade begins with up to 48% off top-rated laptops, like Vostro, taking performance to the next level with 12th Gen Intel Core processors. It's time to push your growing business even further. What's next for you? Upgrade today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
From the very beginning, and every workday since, at every shift and every individual effort, we carry a common purpose, a common cause. It's a duty we proudly honor, knowing behind every product we build is your faith in us, dedicated to the craft of gun making, dedicated to your freedom, equality, security, and the promise of this great country. Smith & Wesson, empowering Americans. Learn more at smith-wesson.com.
A feared flood disaster appears to be avoided in Mississippi.
Jackson Mayor Chokwe Lumumba says floodwater levels in the Pearl River are falling much faster than expected.
The good news is that the water levels came in lower than projected. Water is only, by our calculation at this point, has only entered inside one home.
Officials predict levels will continue to drop, calling rainfall predictions for the week scattered. Adding shelters will remain open until Wednesday, encouraging folks to report damage on the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency's website.
Fox's Christine Goodwin, the river cresting about 7 inches lower than major flood stage. 5 more men face possible trial in Michigan in a suspected plot to kidnap the governor. A state judge holding an evidence hearing less than a week after 2 others were convicted in federal court. NASA hopes to try again Friday to get its most powerful rocket off the ground. The first launch was scrubbed earlier today after 2 problems while fueling.
This rocket takes a combination of liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. Both are extremely cold. We're talking about hundreds of degrees below zero when they're in a liquid state. And so what they do is before launch, they cool the rocket's 4 engines to reduce the shock of the super cold rocket fuel. Well, while they were doing this cooling of the engines, they noticed that one engine remained too hot and a faulty valve compounded the problem.
Fox's Jonathan Seri at the Kennedy Space Center. If a Friday launch can't happen, there's still a chance Monday. It's an unmanned mission, sending the Orion capsule into a 6-week lunar orbit if all goes as planned, part of the buildup to an eventual return to the moon. Wall Street's Friday plunge extended. The Dow drops 184. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Hey Ignition sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Check. I literally just create madness.
Well, they're up.
I'm going to go off here.
They don't have a great quarterback.
I got to take a break. I'm getting in trouble.
To win the Big Ten, you first got to win the West.
Bad Bunny. Have you heard his name in a while?
No.
Has it bothered you?
No. Defensively, they got to come in with some confidence.
Is that even analytics?
I'm in a parking garage. I'm kind of lost.
Terrence Shannon, Matthew Meyer, R.J. Melendez, Coleman Hawkins.
These trophy presentations aren't over.
I didn't come here to go 5-7.
I'm so proud of Illinois football right now. I'm so tired of Joel Embiid.
We're not taking Patrick Corbin.
I want to bet the Bears.
Oh.
You are Reba McEntire's niece.
Roshan Russell.
Coach Bielema.
You no longer salute to yourself.
What? We got all kinds of things for you here.
There's a lot of glass.
Oh.
Guys, we have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
It's The Drive.
Smack dogs. Yeah. If we could do a show after a win every week, well, I'd be all right with that. Good morning, everybody. It is The Drive with Tay and Piper. I am Lon Tay. Derek Piper's to my left. I've got an All-American on my right, Pipes. I'm not.
Why you got to say it like that? No, you're just speaking the truth.
Which way do you think I'm throwing now when I snap the ball, to my left or right? We got Jay Lehman right here. What's up, buddy?
How we doing? So glad to be back for the 2022 season. Kicking it off in week 0. Come on.
Let's go, man. How are you? I came in, you were voicing. I had to go meet with Stevie. I had to voice. Derek just got here. We're all like, no, nobody's even said anything to everybody.
We haven't seen each other for 8 months. Now, since the Long Branch Steakhouse Christmas party where we hung out.
And I wasn't there.
Yeah, boy, you missed the meal of the century.
I know I did.
But it's all good. It's all good. We're glad to be back and glad to get a win.
Yes, I agree. All right, so let's all three kind of give our thoughts of everything that occurred on Saturday. Number one, you went into it. I'll start with you, Jay. When you're All-American, you get the – Is that cool, Dirk?
I just like to come here because Lon just hypes me up. I feel really good.
You notice I'm comparing you and Derek and not me, because at least Derek was like all conference. I was just I didn't even play. I'm like, wow.
Well, you were Villa Grove student body president, right? Something like that. I mean, something like that, right?
That's didn't get you very far.
He's a Blue Devil, boys.
He's a Blue Devil.
The captain of Camargo.
So Wyoming came in, obviously had been shredded by the transfer portal. So we knew coming in. I don't know that they're going to be as good as they've been the last 4 years with going to bowl games. Excuse me. Now, of course, when you hear Coach Bielema talking about them, well, look out. This is going to be a good team coming in. I was kind of expecting what I saw Saturday and even predicted at Pia's on Friday, kind of a 31-13 kind of score. It's what I thought. Is it kind of what you thought?
Yeah, it was exactly what I thought. I don't think there was ever a moment there was fear that we were going to lose that game. From the very first drive on, they just didn't have any horses. It was just interesting for Cowboys, right? I mean, there was just none. No horses in the stable. I mean, Swin, their tailback, was their best guy. And he popped some runs.
Yeah.
Peasley could run. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I didn't know if I was watching former Illinois quarterbacks play that had transferred or if it was here.
Where's Hookstrat?
But we know this. Illinois won the game. I thought it was a solid performance offensively and defensively.
What do you think, Pipes?
Yeah, the same thing. I thought Wyoming might be a little bit better, a little bit more competent. I thought that Illinois offensively, I wouldn't have been surprised if it took a little while to get in the end zone. Not 2 plays.
Wow. Craig Bull's a good coach, too. I mean,
he
won 3 national titles at North Dakota State. So
Amen.
But when you have, 7 Power 5 transfers, then another guy that got drafted in the 3rd round by the Jaguars, it then makes sense. And I don't think they're going to have a good season. I think you're seeing their line even against Tulsa just keep climbing because everybody saw how tough it is for them, and that's that kind of a situation. But Illinois, defensively, I thought that they were put in a pretty good situation, and look, they capitalized on it, didn't give up a whole lot. Their quarterback, as Jay said, was pretty terrible.
I've got some goods and some bads. I even have a couple of, not really negative, but I thought, I'll come up with a couple of things to talk to Jade about. But I thought I would start just with the particulars. I mean, most everybody knows this. DeVito, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns. What'd you think of him?
First off, I thought he looked poised.
Yeah.
It helps when you're poised, when you don't have people like coming down your throat to tackle you. So they had decent protection, right? I thought he missed some balls. Like he missed Isaiah Williams on a slant route, the RPO, run pass option early.
Yep.
He hit Tip Ryman right in the face early with a bomb, which is on target. He missed a few, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty accurate, right? And I actually saw some timing routes and drag routes for 5 to 8 yards to like get us closer to a first down, which I felt like it was like one-man routes last year. I hope I can hit Casey Washington, Deuce Spann for the 4 games that he plays. Let's throw it deep to him. And that's it.
That's it.
There was some Isaiah in there and whatnot, but I thought there was actually more checkdowns and some crossing routes that were safe throws. I know they didn't throw it down the field that much.
Sure.
But I thought it was decent for first start for Tommy DeVito. Yes.
And that's one thing I was going to talk about is just the short throws, et cetera. They only averaged, I think, 6 yards or 7 yards a throw. But to the layman, when you talk about, and I always say that when Jay Lehman is here, but get us a little more involved with what you just said about timing throws. In other words, did you not see that very often out of Brandon Peters in the past?
I didn't. Let's take Pat Bryant's touchdown. That was a strict timing throw.
Yep.
Just bam, bam, right? I love getting Chase Brown the ball as well. Second play of the game. It shows that Barry Lunny, usually have a script, right? The problem is they were down the field already in 2 plays, and now they're in the red zone. He knew they were going to be in man coverage. He brought Pat Bryant in motion, and then they ran a pick route where Isaiah Williams picked the guy off for Chase Brown. The linebacker went underneath. So just a really, really smart play design, right? And then as far as the timing goes, there was a couple routes to like Hightower, back-to-back, just a 6-yard hitch. Hey, I'll take 6-yard hitches all day.
Amen.
He's a big body. He broke a tackle, makes it 12. There's nothing wrong with 2nd and 4, right? And so I think those where you can give your offensive line a chance to kind of, not check out, but not have the pressure to protect all the time. I also hit Pat Bryant on a play on the long pass they played. It was in cover 2, kind of a whole shot down the sideline. They just max protected and said, listen, we're either going to throw it to Pat Bryant or we're going to run the football with Tommy, if he's not open. This is one-man route. So just, hey, take the pressure off the O-line, quick routes, timing routes, max protect. I thought it just helped them get confidence in the passing. They needed confidence in the passing game.
Simplified it a little bit.
Yeah.
And Pipes, you're always about, and I totally agree, completion percentage. I believe DeVito was around 72%. I know Art came in, was 3 for 3, so that certainly helps. But overall, on DeVito, didn't throw the ball deep much, averaged actually 5.9 yards per pass, or 5.4, excuse me. So not a lot, but I think that was part of the game plan. And I'm guessing Wyoming was maybe doing some stuff, laying off a little bit on that. But what'd you think of DeVito overall?
Wasn't blown away, but there wasn't really a circumstance where you're going to. I didn't think, as Jay said, the plan was to be safe with the football. Especially, it became clear as you went forward in the game and you had a 2-score lead or whatever that Wyoming didn't have the offensive firepower. As long as you didn't turn over the football and do anything dumb, they weren't going to come back and win that game. So I understand being a little bit more conservative, and there is something to be said for just getting small chunks that lead to third and manageable. So I understand that he did miss some throws. Would like to see that cleaned up a little bit more. And then when you're gonna play a more competent team, which we'll see if Indiana's that. I mean, they will be more than Wyoming, but as you push in the schedule, you got to have to be able to take some shots, and we'll see what that ultimately looks like later in the season.
12 receivers caught passes, Jay. Is that more of Wyoming giving that up, or is that more of Illinois spreading it around? Should I be worried thinking Isaiah would be a guy that would get 100 yards and he only got 26?
So good questions all around. First off, the way the game was, they got a lot of players in, so there's more receivers to play.
Good call.
Okay?
Good call.
Number 2, it does show that Tommy DeVito is not locking in on somebody.
Yeah.
And I would say Isaiah Williams actually had a better game than people give him credit for. He had 2 of his longest pass plays called back for penalties that were not his fault.
Good call.
He also had a touchdown pass where he was on a knee. He got a touchdown pass, and then they called it back when they reviewed it, right? So 3 plays really got called back on Isaiah Williams. I think he would have had a really solid game if he would have had that. I still begs the question of who we're going to throw the football to consistently. I think Isaiah Williams is a small target, right?
Yep.
I think Pat Bryant and Hightower showed stuff. I saw Hank Beatty, the Gatorade Player of the Year from Rochester, make a good catch, coming across the middle from Art throwing a ball. The ball wasn't great. Made a good catch. I think we'll see more of him. I liked what I saw. And Brett Bielema said nobody's caught the ball better than him, as a rookie in kind of camp. So I think we have a couple weapons. Do we have a guy you're like, dude, that's a Randy Moss? we probably haven't had that for a while.
No.
But do I think that either the offense or the defense, we haven't talked about defense, showed much at all? No.
Okay.
And they didn't need to.
Fair.
Right?
That's fair.
Because now everybody's got the disadvantage of the week 0 is people have tape on you, and you have no tape on these two new coordinators in Indiana.
Good call.
Right? So why show a bunch if, like, Pipes was saying, dude, we're not going to lose this game. They don't have enough firepower to come. And
Exactly.
Peasley is pretty measly when it comes to, like, offensive production, right?
I'm going to get to the horse, Chase Brown, but I want to go.
Isaiah probably did have like 7 missed tackles that got erased because of penalties because he was dancing out there and guys were flying and missing.
Now that you say that, and I think back in my mind, you're right. I mean, there were so many that he could have been 50, 60, and that's kind of the game plan you want, right?
Sure.
If you're going to have that many guys catch, you still want one guy that's kind of leading you the most of the time.
I mean, we have like 3 guys that get yak.
Yeah.
We got Chase Brown. We got Isaiah Williams. Josh McCray, who got banged up, is more yards after contact, right? Rather than yards after catch. But I tell you what, and we haven't talked about Chase Brown, but he looks like he's at a different gear.
It's unbelievable.
As far as straight line speed and ability to cut and not really slow down.
No.
Where Isaiah is a different side-to-side speed.
Yes.
Right? So both those guys have a unique ability, and I think it was pretty obvious. Hey, we want to get the ball to number 1, number 2, also number 0. So 0, 1, 2, and then number 3 is your quarterback, right?
That's pretty simple.
You stop 0, 1, 2, 3. I mean, you got a chance against Illinois.
I like that. Real quick before we get to Chase Moore, I want to ask you more on Chase Brown. Derek Piper, Hightower last year, we kind of knew he was injured, but we kept looking for him to do something, for him to come out and get 4 catches. I know nobody had a lot of yards, but to see him get some catches early to show that he's going to be a guy they rely on, I think that's good to see.
I say this kind of as a joke, but it's good to see he still exists.
Yeah.
Because he was like a healthy scratch, or quote-unquote healthy. He was active for some games last year where we just never saw him. I know that he had the injury coming into the season, and then he talked about just asking the coaching staff ultimately for a red shirt, that he wasn't right and whatnot. To have him available, I know that Pat Bryant was wide open, but it was good to see somebody. He looks like he's a good athlete.
He does.
So I liked that as well. And for there to be concerned about how much talent is in that receiver room, it was nice to see some other guys outside of Isaiah.
Now, it's also nice to know you got a stud and you use him. And Chase Brown, it didn't take any long. By the way, let's give Peyton Vining some credit on that opening kickoff.
Sure.
He had 2 returns for 53 yards. And this is in a college game now where that doesn't happen very often.
This guy is a Denison transfer.
That's all. He's a senior, right, from Florida.
You know what I like is that he called up Brett Bielema supposedly and said, hey, I'm the only guy on this roster that's returned a college kick for a touchdown.
Did he really?
And he kind of, pined for that job. And you know what? He came up with it, right?
1 for 1.
And I like what Sean, I believe it's Sean Snyder is the interim special teams coach. It seems to be more aggressive, they say, in the return game. They said historically, and we saw that.
Yes.
Seems to be aggressive. And a lot of times the KOR, or kickoff return, just is kind of a wash now since they moved it up 5 yards. But it was good to see that. It gave a real juice to the game to start out.
Totally agree. All right, Chase Brown. I mean, first 2 plays go to Chase, 38-yard run, I think, and a touchdown on a catch. Nice throw from DeVito. Nice kind of not really a diving catch, but he caught it and
Sure.
kind of dove as he did it. And then, of course, he just grounds out 151 yards, averaged 8 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 3 catches, 16 yards. I mean, he put up fantasy numbers, and normally when you see that, that's good to see.
Yeah.
I know it's Wyoming, but
Sure.
he did for 1,000 yards last year against a bulk of Big Ten and a lot of good teams.
Well,
there's no doubt he's good.
I think he's an NFL player. He's possibly
Yes.
a first-team All-Big Ten back. Brett's had a lot of good backs. And he thinks Chase is right up there with it. I think, let's not forget, it was game 5. He went through 4 games because he was banged up. He only had like 112 yards through like 4 games.
Right.
Epstein was playing. McCray was playing. He passed that in 1 game. I mean, he certainly has the juice to do it. He's got a unique ability to make people miss and not slow down.
Right.
Like he just like sidesteps and just keeps going. And he's a pretty big boy now.
I almost want to see Sydney run. Can we do that too?
Yeah, Sydney can run, for sure.
Or put Chase on
They're
defense.
both built pretty well. They're both built pretty well. So I mean, both of them showed up. The knock on Chase has been the patience.
Yes.
Right. He's had all the tools. I think the first run was such a great example of patience because he stretched it out, then hit it vertical, and I love how Pat Bryant had a block downfield that really sprung up from a 15-yard run to a 38-yard run. That's what it's about.
First show of the year with Jay Lehman, and we get excited because we want to get in, just kind of hammer out all the good details. We're going to kind of slow their pace. We're going to hear from Brett Bielema a little bit, and we've got one thing coming up with Pipes that I'm going to surprise Jay with. But right now, there's a reason Jay Lehman is here, and it's because of some great sponsors. Jay Lehman, you got the floor, my man.
I love we got intro music for the sponsors, and they deserve it. And who we're going to start with but the stalwart Dick Van Dyke Appliance Works. Home with a 10-year protection plan. Free 10-year protection plan and the $45 service call. I'm telling you what, they beat everybody on
service.
I mean, shoot, I can't go to Chick-fil-A for my family and get that. But you know, if I want food, I don't even go to Chick-fil-A. I go to Long Branch Steakhouse because I want freaking steak. I want steak, and Donnie at Long Branch gets it done. Love the fried mushrooms
right now.
I love the fried Brussels sprouts. Love me some mac and cheese. My kids love it. They got great kids meals too.
That's
okay?
awesome.
And what about Luther Falls Custom Kitchen and Bath?
They're
Guys,
back.
they do it all. Countertops. They do more than countertops do. They do custom granite yard signs. Like you get like the established Tay family, established
Yeah.
Lucas Tay graduated from ASU or whatever. Was it ASU?
Yeah, Arizona State.
I'm trying to get it all right here, right? Okay, and then we got a new insurance provider. No, we didn't go with Lon. We went with Insurance Providers Group. Insurance IPG, man, I tell you what, not only for home, auto, but habitational. You got rental properties?
Yep.
I got all my rental properties with them. Agricultural, employee benefits as well, health insurance, life insurance. My goodness.
They got it all.
Hey, and don't forget your health, guys. We talk about appliance. We talk about what about the Joint Chiropractic at 2003 South Neal? I go there, big believer in chiropractic care. It's convenient. It's affordable. And they got great chiropractors. Come on, baby.
How often does your body pop when you go in there? But then you go, that feels so
I love it. And you know, it's one monthly fee, no insurance necessary.
Oh, really?
I get 4 adjustments a month for $79. Hello.
What?
Yeah. You got to check this out, man.
That is awesome. That is a great deal. That is a great deal. And we thank all those sponsors.
Just south of Scotty's. Go check them out.
Okay. We Aspen. Right?
Aspen. Is it Scotty's or Aspen?
It used to be Scotty's, right? It's the Aspen. I think if we're on the same page.
Aspen.
No, it's Aspen now, right? The Aspen
Tap House.
Tap House, that's it. All right, so thanks again to all of our sponsors because they make having Jay Lehman possible on these days, and we love it. Now, Jay, in the middle of all this football, and we're going to have plenty of it. Hold on. Oh, we got some college basketball news.
Jay is not surprised.
He's not. Illinois signs a 4-star, gets a commitment, not signs.
Right.
I always say that wrong. It's a guy that you were in on early, Illinois targeted, and you love this kid. You went to see him at Peach Jam. You went to see him at a couple of other places. And every time we would talk to you on the phone or when you got back, you said Amani Hansberry dominated. He is coming to Illinois, verbaled over the weekend. How big is that?
It's huge. And you might have gotten tired of me talking about him as much as I did, reporting him from the road. I mean, he's really the one guy that they felt like was a must-get in 2023, and they went all out for him. Chester Frazier did a great job of pushing the gas really late in May and on through the summer. They were 2-3 deep at all of his AAU games, and they were able to be out there on the live periods and beating out Penn State, Virginia Tech. Other teams were trying to come in the mix late, like Miami, Auburn, Oregon, but ultimately Amani stuck with some teams that had been there for a while, and Chester's relationship really boded well. Brad Underwood turned up the heat as well, and I mean, 6'8", 225, 230, can play that small ball 5, can play the 4. He's tough, he's physical, he shoots it in the mid-range. Extending out to 3 is going to be a big part of his game, but I think he's capable, and he's just really skilled and a very gritty guy along the lines of a Ty Rodgers. And when you think about Brad Underwood, like molding like a Baylor or molding like a Michigan State, this is that type of guy.
If Ty Rodgers and Amani Hansberry are on the court at the same time, is that going to blow our minds with how much hustle is going on and how many times Illinois fans are going to be like, that was just the right play to make?
It's going to be a physical brand of basketball, I can tell you that. Very good rebounding, and yeah, both are really, really good passers too.
That's incredible.
High basketball IQ.
I can't wait. Jay Lehman is here. We're talking Illinois football.
Yeah, we're talking basketball actually right now
in
August.
One in.
Wow. I mean, it's worse than the sports writers that like in September are like, hey, Midnight Madness, October 15th. Guys, we're 1-0.
It's a big commit, Jay. Number 52 overall in the class.
First off, we know this. There is only so much time historically to be optimistic about Illinois football. And we do. Me and Lon have drank Kool-Aid, and I'm drinking Kool-Aid this year. I think it's going to last a lot longer this year.
I do too.
I think it's going to last a lot longer because they look like a really well-coached football team. But how dare you take your time during August for some recruit?
That is so funny. I'm in the middle of these guys, and there's a reason for that. Although if Jay wanted to get to you, I'm not stopping him. Not going to lie to you. I'm not.
You wouldn't need help. Yeah.
I'm going to let him go, and I'll just I'll narrate to everybody what is happening.
I get that basketball has had more success than football of recently, but I tell you what, I do believe, guys, this is the year.
I love it.
I do. They look well coached. I know they play Wyoming. They looked well coached. They had some penalties. They looked well coached.
I want to get to that point right there.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that we a lot of times make an early read on, all right, I think this team is going to be either this or this. I do it as a guy that never played football. You do it as a guy that notices the coaching, notices the different things. When we come back, I want your opinion on that, because that is one thing that I wanted to get today from Jay Lehman is kind of a way too early thought process on what this team could be this season and how long maybe we'll have a 0 on the other side in that loss column, because it could be great. We've got a couple of sponsors, including a new sponsor that's going to be with us, and we are excited to read about it. And Derek Piper, you and I are going to be talking a lot about it, and that's BetUS.com. We are all about doing this. 28 years they've been doing NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus, by the way, Pipes, 200%. 200%. BetUS offers their members opportunity to cash in on everything, all the sports. I was on their website looking at it. They've got casinos. You can do European slots. You can bet the horses. There's, of course, the normal betting that you and I do. I call it normal. There's a lot of people that don't bet sports. They do everything else. But they have everything you need at BetUS.com. That's where you find them. You just sign up at BetUS.com, or you can even call them, which I like. Just call them at 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will actually take you through the process of getting signed up. Now, you want to use promo code 935 on that, and let them know where you heard this great stuff. On BetUS.com, you're going to be hearing a lot more about them and even from them coming up here in the next couple of weeks as we roll along. Let's be back to talk Illinois football 1-0. Jay Lehman gives kind of a little bit of a look at the season ahead and his thought process. We'll do it next. It is The Drive.
If your car breaks down or needs to be repaired, trust the experts at Beaumont Alignment Plus to step up. For routine maintenance like tune-ups, oil changes, brakes, or tires, you can count on Beaumont. They'll also service bigger issues like alignment, suspension work, starters, or transmission problems. So get to know Beaumont Alignment Plus for all your vehicle repairs. With locations on Bloomington Road and Denison Drive in Champaign, you're never far from the help you need. You can trust the dedicated family-owned team of professionals at Beaumont Alignment Plus. Online at BeaumontAlignment.com.
This is Gina from ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. If you're looking for a top-of-the-line air conditioner, think Amana. We carry all sizes and offer expert installation. ABC Heating and Air Conditioning is locally owned, and we've been in business for 50 years. And for 50 years, the only brand we've sold is Amana. So go with a company that is local, dependable, and will be there for you no matter what time of day or night. ABC. Always be comfortable. Let us install your new Amana air conditioner. Visit www.abcheatingandac.com.
Jay Lehman here, former U of I All-American linebacker. Do you like steak? Do you like red meat? Well, if you do, you got to check out Long Branch Steakhouse. They had phenomenal steaks, sides, salads. I love the onion rings and the fried mushrooms as well as the fried pickles. You've got to check out Long Branch Steakhouse in beautiful downtown Gifford. That's right. Make the trip to Gifford for some of the best steaks you'll have. Kids love it too. I brought my whole family. I'll see you at Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford.
Hi, this is Steve from Good Vibes.
And I'm Luke Goody, your favorite guard.
You know, Luke, you're the go-to guy when we need that corner three.
And I know Good Vibes is the go-to place when you want a great TV.
That's right, Luke. Our mission is to make your shows and games look and sound live.
Sounds simple, but you have to really put in the work to be good at anything.
You got that right. I can tell by your defense, hundreds of hours of serious practice are behind it.
I guess in 50 years, Good Vibes has a few hundred hours getting good at-home entertainment as well.
Lots of practice, a talented team, and the best equipment, like LG OLED TVs.
Same here. My teammates, the gym, and the coaches all make me and my game better.
But you have to want to be the best. That comes from inside and can't be taught. I think you, me, and LG have that in common. I can't wait to watch you on the court this fall.
We all have a mission in life, something that drives us to explore, to grow, to love. And when we discover it, we're made whole. At OSF Healthcare, we want you to be the best you possible. We're here for you on your schedule to make your life just a little bit easier. Whatever your mission is, we're here to support it. Your life, our mission. Learn more at osfhealthcare.org/mission.
Did you know Luther Falls can make you a custom granite yard sign? Durable, dependable, customizable. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. I'm getting one that will say, the Lehman family. You should get one too. Just go to bbstonework.com and you can visit the gallery and see how easy it is to transform your entryway. Luther Falls has custom granite yard signs. Just go to bbstonework.com. That's bbstonework.com.
Well, Derek Piper, we had a chance to see our guy, McLean Stahl, Friday at Pia's. That was a fun show, and, of course, he is with Game Day Spirit, a proud sponsor, and we are so proud to have a partnership with them as well. And this segment brought to you by Game Day Spirit. 2 locations, one on Neal, one on Green. It is where you get your Illinois gear. And, of course, at the Illinois game, you can even do it there in Grange Grove. So if you get there and you decide, maybe you spill something on your shirt, you just walk over to Game Day Spirit, and they take care of you. It is the place to be. Game Day Spirit, you can find them at GameDaySpirit.com. Jay Lehman is with us. What's up?
What up?
Lawn change shirts during the tailgate.
I did. I sweat through my other one, yeah.
Dude, the East Side was a bake-a-thon. I had a junior football team out there, and they got toasted.
Oh, my goodness.
It took to the fourth quarter till it finally got below the west stands.
It was hot.
It was hot, man.
It was really hot.
Close to that field, too, you get hotter. I feel like on that field it gets hot.
And it used to be, I remember Busch Stadium back in the day, you'd see the heat rising off that AstroTurf, and, it'd be 120. They'd be like, it's 126 degrees on the AstroTurf. I'm like, yeah, how do you do that? All right, you mentioned going to the break, Jay, that this is a team that could be undefeated a while. This could be a team. Nobody drinks more Kool-Aid than I do, and I know normally you temper yourself. I was already telling somebody today, I'm like, well, look, Indiana won 2 games last year. I don't know how they're a favorite going into this game, but they're like a 4-point favorite at Bloomington. I know 3 of those is just being at home. And then, of course, a Virginia team that has their quarterback back, but they did lose some playmakers. And I feel like Illinois, since that Virginia game last year, has just been a different team, especially defensively. And then you'd have Chattanooga.
I just have to laugh.
Why can't you be 4-0 going into Wisconsin, right?
This is the same conversation we have every year.
It really is.
Right? I mean, this is but we love it. And you know what? There have been very few moments the last 20 years of just unbridled optimism.
Amen.
Outside of August.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so let us live it up, right? I'll feel a lot better if we get a win on the road at Indiana. I'll feel a lot better. We are a totally different team than that. That was kind of the bottom.
Yes.
Last year. I think if we go back to listen to our show after that, we were pretty. Oh. I think that was pretty brutal.
Oh, I was frustrated.
We were. It was same old Illinois. Huge guys running wide open. One thing that Brett Mila said in his presser today, when it comes to this team defensively, you should see guys just like running down the field wide open. How good a coach Ryan Walters is as a defensive back coach. And we saw guys in the Virginia game just running all over the field. But since that game, we didn't see that. We saw them really change up some stuff. So I'm excited. I think they could definitely be 4, maybe 5-0. We'll see. I don't know. Here's the thing. If you get confidence, cool things can happen, right?
Yeah.
And the year before Illinois went to the Rose Bowl, we won 1 Big Ten game, Michigan State. They won 4 last year.
Wow.
And they had 2 road wins against top 25 teams.
That has to give you confidence.
They're not that far away, guys.
Right. I agree. You mentioned Brett Bielema. I'm doing some producing on the spot here. I believe this is him talking about Ryan Walters.
I think I've said it to you guys a couple times. Fumble. I've said, right, like you could just literally see the progression that he is having. Again, Ryan Walters is a really good defensive coordinator, but, I think the part I learned to appreciate in the development of Kirby Joseph last year is just how good of a DB coach Ryan is. And I think Quan, through Ryan's leadership in the coaching world, has really learned to pre-snap key read. He's a very explosive player. I think it was last December we were down in Florida recruiting in January, and I went to his high school, and his coach showed me a clip of him playing basketball. And I was just like, holy Toledo, his explosiveness, his ability to jump out of the gym. Quan is very unique. He probably has the ability. I just visited with NFL scouts earlier today. Everybody wants to know what position you project him at. And I think after being in the NFL, I could see Quan being evaluated at 4 different positions, at star, boundary, field safety, and both corner spots, right? So, I really think he brings a unique skill set that isn't very common.
That is Coach Bielema talking about Ryan Walters. Also, Quan Martin, who led the team with 7 tackles, if I had that right.
And 3 pass breakups.
Yeah, 3 pass breakups. Of course, Witherspoon had the interception. I mean, they averaged 1.5 yards per pass, Wyoming.
That's tough.
That might be a lot on Wyoming on that one, too.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, I would say. Jay, you mentioned before the break how well coached you think this team is.
Yeah.
And on the point of Ryan Walters, and Brett mentioned there the development of Kirby Joseph, what does that look like behind the scenes where a coach is able to elevate a player more than what they've done prior to, in their college career, getting the most out of their talent or even maybe playing beyond their talent?
Well, I would make the argument that the DB position has seen the most improvement of any position. I mean, we saw it with Kirby Joseph. We saw Sidney Brown really become the best, I think, overall defensive player there. We saw Devin Witherspoon, who's always played with an edge, be very aggressive. I think, and Tony Adams, I think he might have made the Jets roster or practice squad or something. So, I've seen the DBs really improve. And first of all, for a DB, it's keeping everything in front of you, right? There's so many times where people were not in front of you. 2, I don't remember a ton of pass interference calls on. We compete with guys on balls, but I don't see a lot of. They dropped about 4 picks. They could get better, and some of those were young guys, Jennings and Bailey and whatnot. And they did that largely without much of a pass rush yesterday, too. The guy had time, okay, and something we can talk about as well. But
I want to talk.
But I do think technique-wise, we're just better coached defensively. Offensively, we had some errors on the. I'll tell you what. The offensive line, that was their first game working together. Some of those tackles for loss early on Chase, some of those blocks in the back, some of those holds. Hey, they'll get that stuff cleaned up. But overall, they just look like they know what they're doing. I never felt panicked. I never felt like this game was out of reach. I just thought it was in control. Maybe it was the opponent. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I like what I saw so far.
Were you more concerned by the lack of disruption in the backfield by the defense, by the edge rushers you're replacing Owen Carney and Isaiah Gay? Sure. Or the offensive line, particularly the interior, making some mistakes?
Let me piggyback that. 0 sacks, 0 tackle for losses for Illinois.
Yeah. So I'm not really concerned about the O-line. I think they're going to get that figured out. I'm not concerned about the interior of the defensive line. I thought Calvin Avery played his best ball. 24 plays. I had not seen him move and be slimmed down like that. I saw him get off plays, saw him cause the fumble, saw him create a big hit. I think Keith Randolph's an NFL player. I think Johnny Newton plays with great leverage and is a solid defensive tackle. I think Seth Coleman and Ezekiel Holmes would tell you they could play better. Some of those big runs were Seth Coleman maybe not staying home on the defensive end, outside linebacker spot. I think Gabe Yakis is a guy.
They love him.
Looks the part, wrestler, built like a brick house, and I think he'll start to get some reps. They need some more pressure. Some of that stuff they rolled out Peasley a lot to get him away from pressure. And I think Illinois was really focused. You look at what they did defensively. I think I saw them run 1 or 2 defenses. No pressure. They showed no blitzes from what I could see in the game.
So that's got a lot to do with it probably too, right? You're not showing Indiana.
A lot to do with it. No one show it. And a lot of it was there was very few 5-step, let me just throw the football. It was quick passes or it was a rollout, right? Or he's throwing the football away.
Is that a conversation going into a game like this where you're supposed to win? We're not going to show some of our stuff knowing that a bigger game is on the horizon. Have you been in those situations? I imagine you probably have.
I think that was the plan, but I think they had to have some pressures ready in case stuff got dicey.
You needed it.
Stuff got dicey. I mean, what's interesting is that these guys prep like, we did. I heard Brett say, hey, we did 2 days of spring football for Indiana, and we did 2 days of camp football for Indiana. So they're ready for the short week.
I like that.
Right? They're ready for this stuff. They know what they're looking for and whatnot. And so I think once they saw, listen, we can win this game. Let's not show people what we can do. I think Barry Lundy's got a lot more. Yeah. We know Ryan Walters is a lot more exotic than running man coverage and cover two. I mean, but he didn't need to. So I'm not necessarily worried about it, right?
One more on the defense, and then we're going to talk about your great sponsors and the reason that Jay Lehman is here. Randolph and Newton were tied for second on the team in tackles, 6 each. In the past few years, and I know, Jay Lehman, you made a living with this, it seemed like a linebacker was always the guy that was getting double-digit tackles.
Sure.
And a lot of times, you would sit there and think, like, to me, again, I use the layman term, to me it's like, okay, it's obviously, they're getting through our defensive line, and now the linebacker has to make the tackle. What does it say to have guys like Randolph and Newton behind Quan Martin, with 6 tackles, essentially with, leading the team essentially with 6 each? What does that say that's different than having a linebacker leading the team in double digits?
First off, that's a really good question.
I get them there about 3 times a year.
I like it. So Derek. Dude, Lon is an affirmation junkie. You give him one hit, and it's like, man, I know. I bet your girlfriend is like, well, you got to watch how much you compliment Lon, because he starts thinking he's real good then. Well, I'll tell you this, though. In 2006, I'm just going to compliment myself now to get off a Lon. But
yeah, right.
In 2006, it was third in the nation in tackles to 152.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what you want for a great defense.
That's what I thought,
because they're just tearing up through your, or let alone a safety leading you in tackles, which is the worst, right? So ideally, you should have your tackles spread out from the D-line, the linebackers. Now there's special players, right? And teams and whatnot, and sometimes you have one guy get more than the other. But I think it shows you when you playing assignment football, and you have guys like Keith Randolph, who's got tremendous length. He's a big dude.
Yes, he is.
These guys are more than just hole stuffers. These guys actually make plays and tackles. So I think it shows a healthier defense, if I could just say. Yes.
No, that's fair. I wondered that when I saw the stats from that today. All right, here's what we're going to do. I want to hear these great sponsors, my man. There's a reason Jay Lehman is sitting here on a Monday.
Man, I'm hungry, and Donnie's looking at me from Long Branch Steakhouse. You've got to go to Long Branch Steakhouse in beautiful, eclectic downtown Gifford. It is the spot to get your steak. Let me tell you that much. I love the ribeye. My wife loves the filet, but he often says, only available while supplies last. So you got to get there soon. Get there at 5 p.m. Beat the crowd, okay? What about the Joint Chiropractic? Hey, your neck stiff, your back hurting, but you hate the headache of actually scheduling a chiropractic appointment? Go to the Joint Chiropractic, 2003 South Neal, right south of Aspen Tap House.
And you said you don't have to have insurance to go in there.
You don't.
Because nobody wants to fiddle with that crap either.
No, it's convenient.
And I'm in the insurance industry.
Right. Nobody wants that stuff.
Just $75, you get 4 visits a month. That's unbelievable.
Or you get a 10-pack for, I think you get a 10-pack for like $289.
Sweet.
So you can knock that out as well. Okay. Of course, there's Dick Van Dyke Appliance, where we know about their appliances.
They're awesome.
Insurance Providers Group. I want you to call Kyle Lewis, or you can email Kyle at IPGINS.com. He's my personal insurance agent, and he's my guy. And you know what? Kitchen and baths need to be fixed up. They got to stay fresh. Think about Luther Falls Kitchen and Bath.
Yeah, there you go. Those are the great sponsors that Jay Lehman has to get him in here. The Jay Lehman Hour. Now, one thing, the next 3 days, Cardinals and Reds not playing nice to you and I, Piper, because we got a lot to talk about. And we know Jay Lehman's got a lot to talk about. And when you want to know, like Jay said, we don't have this opportunity very often. We got to keep going on it.
Right.
But 5 o'clock today, we got to take a Cardinals game against the Reds, and that's the same for the next 2 days. So Thursday will be a full show. We'll be probably previewing Indiana and Illinois. When we come back, I want a little bit on Indiana, just to get your thoughts on that. I know we haven't seen them yet. They haven't even played. And then Barry Lundy Jr. He helped Illinois rack up 477 yards, the most since Brett Bielema's has been here. So maybe he made a right decision there. But we'll talk about that when we return. It is The Drive with Tay and Piper, if I can hit the start button. Yeah, right there.
Local furniture expert. They've been in business over 50 years and their sales team has over 150 years of experience. They carry everything you need to furnish your whole house with top name brands such as Broyhill, Lane, Ashley, Smith Brothers, Bemco mattresses, and Mohawk carpeting. Their showroom is huge with over 30,000 square feet of furniture. Stop by
Thinking
Kelsey
of selling
Furniture
your
in
home?
downtown.
Today's market is crazy, but one way you can be sure to stand out is by replacing your old flooring with new hardwood. And the best place to do it is Carpet Weavers in Champaign. Carpet Weavers boast the industry's best brands, including Shaw, Mohawk, Paramount, and more. When it comes to natural beauty and a rich quality, nothing beats new flooring from Carpet Weavers. And they have financing options for your budget, so you can always afford the floor you truly want. Increase the value of your home by installing new, high-quality options from Carpet Weavers. Find out more online at carpetweaversflooring.com.
It's beginning to look a lot like fall in the Prairie Gardens greenhouses. The first mums are blooming now. They're loaded with beautiful fall color and now on sale. Find them in the PG greenhouses along with more fall garden favorites. Ornamental peppers, asters, rudbeckia, and more. With PG plant experts always on hand to answer your garden questions. At Prairie Gardens, locally owned plant experts, extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
Hi, I'm Jay Lehman. As a former elite athlete, my chiropractic care is very important to me. I believe in it, but sometimes chiropractic care can be expensive and inconvenient, but not at the Joint Chiropractic, located at 2003 South Neal. Not only does the Joint have great chiropractors, it's affordable, convenient, and no appointment or insurance is necessary. Text Champagne to 56468 to claim the new patient special, $29 for a consultation, examination, and adjustment at the Joint Champagne.
When you know you've got a problem and something's bugging you, call on American Pest Control and take control. You be wise, Americanized. Call on American Pest Control. That's how you get back in control. Call American Pest Control. American Pest Control. No more bugs to bug you. Take control.
Kids may love bugs, but we don't. Let American Pest Control mount a counterattack against rodents and insects with integrated pest management. That's regular use of the most effective methods and the latest techniques, plus periodic inspections to eliminate the sources of food and shelter these invaders need. It's your best defense against financial losses caused by rodents and insects.
Call American Pest Control. American Pest Control. No more bugs to bug you. Take control.
If you need insurance, you gotta go to Insurance Providers Group. They can help you like they've helped me. Hi, it's Jay Lehman. Insurance Providers Group can get you a quote on all aspects of personal, business, agricultural, life, and health insurance and employee benefits. They represent many insurance companies that allow them to provide you with the most competitive rates and the best coverage. Call Kyle Lewis at 217-352-7080 or email Kyle at ipgins.com or go to the website for a quote at ipgins.com.
For 111 years, Westville has had a Labor Day celebration. Parmalee will be joined by Central Illinois-based Natu Band. Gates for the concert open at 5 on Saturday, September 3rd. The show starts at 7:30. There's a party pit section close to the stage, and you can get those tickets now. Party pit passes for Parmalee on Saturday, September 3rd are buy one, get one for half price at WestvilleLionsClub.net. Check out Parmalee as part of the Westville Labor Day celebration.
Jay Lehman here, former U of I All-American linebacker. Do you like steak? Do you like red meat? Well, if you do, you got to check out Long Branch Steakhouse. They had phenomenal steaks, sides, salads. I love the onion rings and the fried mushrooms as well as the fried pickles. You've got to check out Long Branch Steakhouse in beautiful downtown Gifford. That's right. Make the trip to Gifford for some of the best steaks you'll have. Kids love it too. I brought my whole family. I'll see you at Long Branch Steakhouse in downtown Gifford. It's all about gambling these days, Pipes. You know about this. I'm not saying you're like some vicious gambler, but I know you enjoy doing it. Not vicious at all.
I'm a gambler, yeah.
Yeah, we do that on occasion. Well, there is a spot you need to go to do your gambling, and that is betus.com.
BetUS.com. They're back. They've been around for 28 years. This is their 28th year for NFL action, but they got everything. They've got MLB, NBA, anything you want to bet on the sports side, on the sportsbook side. Also, casino. You can do that. European slots, horses. They got it all. BetUS.com is where you find them. I've checked the site out. It's awesome, and it's easy to use. It looks cool. So go there, check it out. You can sign up at BetUS.com. How about a signing bonus of up to 200%? Yeah, I'd take that. Or you could call 1-800-79-BET-US. Use the promo code 935. That's BetUS.com.
Words with him after the game. We had recruits in town, and it's just kind of crazy and all that goes into it. So I had a moment Saturday night when I got back, and I reached out to him, and I just expressed my gratitude for the work that he put in to have that day happen. And his response was, "Thanks, Coach, but we're going to get much better in the next week," right? Like, he is constantly thinking like that. I think you see the potential that Tommy DeVito has, right? Tommy's a very accurate passer, very, I think has a great understanding of how the game's flowing. And, some of the best things he did Saturday are actually negatives on the stat sheet. He got rid of the ball when he was in trouble rather than taking a sack. He did some things that he didn't force the ball into. One of the stats I was very happy with, he was only on the ground one time, which is actually on the touchdown throw because they ran a D tackle in late, so he wasn't there in protection. I believe, I made a big issue to him. I said in front of the team, like, let's keep our quarterback upright, right? That's got to be a big deal, and it'll be a key factor in this week's game. But when we got Tommy, I remember sitting in his living room with his dad, in his basement actually, and his mom, and he had been sacked 86 times in his 2 years at Syracuse as the main player, right? 86 times. He got hit once on Saturday. I think when you keep a quarterback on his feet, there's a lot of good things that can happen. So.
There you go. That's some alarming stat there from Brett Bielema talking about Tommy DeVito. They kept him up and safe, and that's the key. And, of course, one of the guy that's really in charge of a lot of that, obviously the offensive line, Jay Lehman is in charge of that, but Barry Lunny Jr. getting off some quick, short passes, no doubt, in this one. Barry Lunny Jr. texted Brett Bielema, he said, just wait. Just wait. So already 477 yards, albeit against a Wyoming team that probably the last couple of years would have been a better test. But what did you think overall, Barry Lunny Jr.? I didn't see a ton of downfield, but I mean, they were moving the ball and doing everything they need to do.
First off, I think we saw about 20% of what Barry Lunny Jr. wants to do.
Exactly.
Number two, I love the RPO game, run pass option. That's what USTA did to Illinois, where it's the decision to DeVito. Do I hand it off to Chase Brown? The line's doing the same. They're run blocking. Or do I throw it to Hightower or on a slant route to Casey Washington? That throw to Casey Washington, that throws to Hightower, those are actually RPOs. He decided to pull it from Chase Brown. By the way, they took the gas off Chase Brown. He could have had 300 yards. If he wanted to. They could have had way more than 477 yards, okay? But the RPO, what I really liked was the spacing I saw from Barry Lunny. There was spacing all over the place as far as drive routes, different levels. We had no spacing last year. The DBs were always right on our receiver.
Yep.
We had to pinch it in there. And, of course, the protection. Listen, as a defensive guy always says, he can never complete any passes on his back, right? That's always the defense's goal, right? And 86 sacks, as Brett talked about, that's a ton of sacks, right? Again, at Syracuse. So to have him healthy and to have him not get hit, hey, that's a good thing. But overall, I really like what Barry was doing.
Jay, what would be a bigger challenge for this offense against Indiana?
A bigger challenge? Will it be a bigger challenge to say?
What will be a bigger challenge for this offense against Indiana? Based on what you know right now, I know we haven't got a chance to see them play.
First off, Big Ten defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were a little light in the loafers for Cowboys, to be honest. Their chaps were a little loose. And I was like, whoa, they did not look that big, right? So I think you have defensive linemen that are Big Ten caliber.
Yes.
I think Tom Allen is a guy who loves to create turnovers through pressure and exotic pressure. They bring a lot of different blitzes historically. And I know it's a defensive coordinator, it's new, but usually Tom Allen is the brains. But kind of like, hey, Barry Lunny's the offensive coordinator, but they're going to run the ball if Brett Bielema's the head coach, right?
Yep.
They're going to bring pressure if Tom Allen is the coach. And so I think they're going to get all kinds of pressure. They know it's a newer offensive line as far as playing together. The bookends have played a lot. And so I think the pressure on the quarterback is going to be the big thing. Chase Brown's going to get his yards, okay?
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be like stop the run, stop. I think it's pressure DeVito, get them in passing situations where they know they have to throw it and bring pressure to confuse.
you can decide whether to bring pressure from the outside or the middle. And like you're saying, if you're Indiana, knowing that you've got 2 JUCO guys and a center in Alex Pihlstrom that have never really played together, do they try, you think, in your mind, to dial up pressure inside, which would come from more of the middle linebacker? Or do you think they try again on that outside with Pearl and Palczewski? You got a couple vets there.
I think probably inside, and you can stunt your defensive linemen to get into the inside and bring your backers from the outside. So you can do a lot of different things. Also, sometimes it's just the threat of pressure. Defenders, looking like they're going to blitz, and now you make the wrong protection call, and there's some one-on-one on the outside, and the guy gets beat. It can happen fast. Remember, the advantage of defense is they can move before the snap and show all kinds of different things. The advantage of offense is that they know the play, right? So it all measures out in different ways. So I would see them actually not only blitzing, but showing blitz and then playing base defense behind it to try to confuse Pihlstrom, who's a new center, and also DeVito, new quarterback.
Makes sense.
Offensively for Indiana, we know it was a train wreck last year. The injuries of Michael Penix Jr. really hampered that offense. They haven't named, to my knowledge, a starting quarterback yet. I think it's Jack Tuttle and then Connor Bazelak from Missouri, the transfer. What do you know about that offense, and is it going to be much better than what we saw last year?
I know the coordinator is Walt Bell. So Walt was the coach at UMass, and then he was I've talked to Walt when he was the corner under DJ Durkin for a year at Maryland. And they love to use tempo. They love to air it out. He's either from that Arkansas State kind of tree, maybe the Malzahn kind of era. I think he's from that. So he loves to throw the football. They're going to run the football out of the spread. I don't think it's going to look a ton different than what historically Indiana's done. They've never been in the last 15 years since Kevin Wilson, they're a ground pound. They're going to spread you out, try to use athletes in space. Jack Tuttle's been there for 2 or 3 years, was transferred from Utah, has never really played great. He's pretty average. Penix finally gone. He had high hopes, but, obviously could never get past the injury bug. And so I really don't know what to expect, honestly.
I know.
And nobody knows what to expect year to year. College football used to be, hey, they got these guys coming back. Phil Steele could write up something and make these guys. Now it's just they transferred. Oh, they lost 8 guys. Now these guys are coming in. Now it's all different every year, and so it's very difficult to know.
What do you think the mindset is in that locker room right now and on that practice field this week? Short week, obviously, with Friday, so things get condensed a little bit. You're coming off a very impressive win against Wyoming where you pretty much you just willed anything you wanted to do worked, right? And you know what Chase Brown can still give you. We don't know yet about Josh McCray. I know you would listen to Bielema. I'll let you touch a little bit on injuries there. But what do you think that mindset is and what should it be coming off a win like that going into a team in Indiana you should feel like you could beat?
Well, I think last year if they got that win, they'd be ecstatic. They were ecstatic about the Nebraska win. They should be. That was a big win,
That's
right?
A great call.
That was huge. But I think the expectations are higher. I think they know they're supposed to win that. I think they feel like they're supposed to beat Indiana as well. Okay?
Yes.
I don't think Josh McCray will be available. According to Brett Bielema, he said, I don't think he's probably going to play this week.
Okay.
So he's probably out. Now, they don't have a final call on what happened or what it was, so that's kind of up in the air. But I think the expectations have risen quite a bit, right?
Yep.
And I can tell you, I went to go to walkthrough on Friday. I was on the field on Saturday, and I will tell you this. They look bigger. They're way more butt than gut, which is what you want.
They got big old butts.
I mean, they were filling out their chaps. The Cowboys were not. And I would just say this. They look like they've developed quite a bit, whether the guys are older or just put on good weight. And you know who looked really good in the blocking that we didn't talk about was Tip Ryman.
Oh,
he looks big.
He is big.
He's a big old boy from South Dakota. If there was a cowboy-looking guy, it was him.
Right. It was Tip. No doubt.
Can I throw in a Scott Frost question before we finish
Scott
up?
Frost!
Oh, my God.
Golly.
Poor Scott. Where is it? I can't even find it. There it is.
Scott Frost!
Go ahead.
What happened? Why?
What happened is he's up 28-17.
Let's call it onside.
And he's surprised onside in Ireland. It's like, dude, just milk the clock.
People in Ireland are probably like, what did he just do?
Give me another Guinness. Did I just see that? Honestly, it was like, it was like I outcoached myself or something. You're right. And you know what? If it was against anybody but Northwestern, I would say good.
I know.
But then Northwestern got the benefit from that. I was like,
How do you lose so many close games? I mean, I understand that a lot of it is probably, you're just not a very good coach and you're not doing the right things. But is there some, just unluck in there?
I think there's some bad luck. I think you'd start mentally of here we go again a little bit.
I agree.
And also this, when you have quarterback play that has been inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
So even up until 2 years ago, McCaffrey was switching with Martinez and stuff like that, and you tend to lose games close.
Yep.
Because a turnover happens, an interception happens.
Which happened on the last
What
drive.
happened on the last drive?
Yep.
The quarterback. So if you don't have a veteran quarterback, you have two teams dead even. Let's say it's all even. They're going to have the same amount of time on the clock. I'm betting on the quarterback because he has the chance to make the most mistakes.
That's fair. How about a quick, I don't need a score, but do you think Illinois gets it done in Bloomington?
I do think Illinois gets it done. I'm going to go 31-19.
31-19, man. I like that. Little 1-9 in the square.
Yeah, I just had to throw it, maybe like a field goal, maybe a safety. Got a couple field goals. I can't see when people say 42-14. I'm like, there's going to be a field goal.
That's too clean.
Yeah, just too clean, Well,
Jay Lehman, the next time you come, we're going to have more time to kind of, today we were just so condensed. Had a lot going on, but some great sponsors. Can you fire those out
Dick
for us
Van Dyke Appliance World, Insurance Providers Group, Kyle Lewis, Luther Falls Kitchen and Bath, Long Branch Steakhouse for all your steak needs, and the Joint Chiropractic.
Sweet. Jay, we'll see you next week.
Love it, guys.
Derek Piper,
Thanks,
I'll
Jay.
see you tomorrow, my man.
Sounds good.
We're back. No, we're not.
Back tomorrow.
Cardinals baseball against the Reds. Next. Have a great night.
It's online. Get your degree in business administration, organizational leadership, or psychology in a format that meets your educational needs.
Visit WCMO.edu to learn more about one of America's most historic and transformative colleges.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Second round, someone that really summer either. We can dream.
First round coverage of Sabrina.
Right. Because you can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. Decide to ride. This message is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber. Copyright 2022, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Delta Dental helps you unleash your smile power with plans for any budget, whether you are an individual looking for coverage for you or your family, or an employer looking for affordable options. Trust the nation's leading provider of dental benefits, Delta Dental. For individuals and families, that means keeping you and your smile healthy. For businesses, it means providing affordable and hassle-free options for companies of all sizes, big or small. When you offer a leading dental plan like Delta Dental to your employees, you'll keep your best talent productive and satisfied. Find the right individual, family, or group plan at deltadentalmo.com.
It's the Cardinals and Reds tonight in Cincinnati, opening up a 3-game series. I do have to tell you, the tarp is on the field at Great American Ballpark, and there is rain in the area, so we might be tap dancing just a bit this evening, waiting to see when this game is going to get started. Not an official delay quite yet or anything like that, so we'll just continue to move forward, but the tarp is on the field. Manager Oliver Marmol, he is standing by with John Rooney. The conversation being brought to you by Webster University.
Oliver, what a weekend for the Cardinals, and talk a little bit about those comebacks on Saturday and Sunday.
No, those are two big wins. That whole series was good. That's a well-managed club, good roster, good ball club. They play the game the right way, and they've won a lot of games. So to go up against them and take 2 of 3, it was meaningful for sure.
What's the planning like, getting ready for a team like the Atlanta Braves in the scenario of looking over who they might have coming in out of a very good bullpen, let alone matching up with their good starters?
Yeah, we match up well against them. I like our roster. I like the construction of our roster with having Albert on the bench against. They have 3 lefties and Lee and Matzik and Minter. So being able to come off the bench with the Carlson and an Albert was helpful. But our guys played well against them.
If you're going to win, you have to use everybody, don't you?
Yeah, and everyone's contributing. We got some guys taking some really good at-bats. Obviously, the middle of our order is doing their job, but the Donovans and Newports of the world are contributing. Dickerson's taking better at-bats. So overall, there's a lot of contributors right now.
After giving up the home run to Swanson, Elsley came out and struck out the side. How lifting was that for your club?
It was important. If you look at the way that all played out 4 times through, if there's anybody that's going to relieve Waino with the lead there, it was going to be Helsley to get 4 outs. He was going to get Swanson and then the meat of the order in the 8th and then finish the game with Gio. Unfortunately, Swanson got him, but he was able to still go back out there, get a fly ball from Olsen, and then punch out the side, which kept us within 1, and then Tommy came up with a big knock.
What was your thought when you saw the ball leave Tommy's bat?
I was a no-doubter for sure. He put a charge into that thing. It was good to see. He's done a nice job from the right side, but that was a big hit.
A big hit, and then you got to the point where Tyler O'Neill's only at bat in the ball game in the spot where Albert had pinch hit. And before we talk about O'Neill, how about the electricity in the ballpark when Albert stepped out there to the on-deck circle?
Unreal. When you're in the dugout and managing, you're focused on the moves and things happening. That was probably one of the first times where I felt the crowd, where you just take a moment and you sit back and you take it in and you get a little bit of goosebumps just seeing how into it everybody was. It was pretty special.
And then you had O'Neill's home run, and O'Neill put a charge into it, dropped it on the grass on Freese's landing in center field, and everybody was happy.
No, that was huge. You're sitting there, and when you made the move for Albert, you had an option of putting O'Neill in Gorman's spot and putting DeYoung in the at-bat that just took place, knowing that the lefty was going to stay in the game. But we put O'Neill behind Nolan for a little bit of protection, and thank God it worked out.
Cincinnati, now you're 7-4 against the Reds, but this looks like a whole lot different ball club from the one you saw the last time you were here.
Yeah, it's definitely a different ball club. They're swinging the bats well, though. They got some young guys that are hungry, and they're dangerous. So.
And preparing for Chase Anderson, who's had a couple of stops at AAA this year, but you've seen him in the past.
We have. We've seen him quite a bit when he was with Milwaukee. And he's a guy that just mixes and knows how to pitch. So we'll have a game plan, and we'll see. We'll take our best shot.
Lastly, Miles Michaelis had back-to-back starts against the Reds. He had a win, and then he had a loss and gave up a home run to Votto the last time he pitched here. That's a difficult assignment, going back-to-back with a team, isn't it?
It is, but, I mean, it's something that these guys are going to have to do within the division. So Miles is prepped for it. We feel good about our rotation for the next 3 days, and we're looking forward to it.
Oliver, thank you.
Thank you.
That conversation being brought to you by Webster University. Just a few days left in the month of August for the Cardinals, and they will look to continue their August success into September. But here in the final few days, Cardinals right now 20-6 in the month, matching the Dodgers as the only teams in Major League Baseball with 20 wins this month. So far, the 20-6 mark is their best in August since going 22-6 in 2018, and some really good individual performances in there as well, as the Cardinals have 4 of the National League's top 5 batters in the month of August. They have numbers 2 through 5, and Albert Pujols, Brendan Donovan, Paul Goldschmidt, and Nolan Arenado. The only non-Cardinal is Jeff McNeil of the Mets, hitting .402 in the month of August. That is number 1. All right, we will get a little bit more from John Rooney along with Ricky Horton with the first word from the booth presented by Geico. That's coming up next on the Ameren Total Access Show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
For those of us who call Illinois home, a little heads up goes a long way, especially when it comes to severe weather. At Ameren, Illinois, our smart grid technology helps detect outages faster, so we can keep you up to date with outage and restoration alerts. Stay one step ahead of severe weather. Sign up for outage notifications today at amerenillinois.com/alerts.
When a woman is struggling with an unexpected pregnancy, she needs someone with the right words to help her. That's where Vitae Foundation comes in. Vitae Foundation conducts research to perfect messages that effectively reach women and empower them to choose life. Vitae needs your help to continue their critical research, which has the power to not only save lives, but change the culture. For more information, visit adsforlife.org. That's adsforlife.org.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing. We'll be cheering on our team and bringing you the latest information for our tailgating and events for fans to take their experience up a notch as we work with the University of Illinois Alumni Association. We're wearing our orange and blue with the staff at Pia's Sports Bar and Grill at Stevie J Broadcasting. Join the team as we take radio shows live in support of our Illini, win great prizes, and enjoy the food and drinks with friends as we head to Pia's off Springfield and Madison, Champaign. Go Illini!
It's beginning to look a lot like fall at Prairie Gardens. New fall home decor collections, handmade wreaths and arrangements, fall candles and scents, plus more, all ready for your fall home and your fall garden. The first fall mums are blooming now and on sale. Find them in the PG greenhouses with other fall garden favorites, ornamental peppers, asters, and more. Ready now at Prairie Gardens. Extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
When you sell your home, experience matters. Hi, it's Stevie J. In this fast-moving market, just call Nate Evans with eXp Realty because you need an agent with the experience, options, and exclusive strategies to get the best possible result for you. The most money possible with the least amount of inconvenience. And that's Nate Evans.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
PDF.org on the web.
Well, Ricky, how about the weekend in St. Louis, and a Hall of Fame weekend it was?
What a great celebration it was for those guys. Number one, glad to have them in St. Louis. I think the fans really responded well to the ceremony, their presence at the ballpark, and part of the tradition of Cardinal baseball. And it's just really fun to be around it. And, of course, the energy translated to the field where the Cardinals had a couple come from behind victories on Saturday and Sunday. And they were able to take a series against a very good Atlanta Braves team who had won 5 series in a row. But the Cardinals finished very strong both Saturday and Sunday.
Now, tonight the Cardinals are playing the Reds, the first game of a 3-game series. We're familiar with their starting pitcher, Chase Anderson. Anderson is facing the Cardinals for his 15th game, his 13th start. But he has had 2 stints at AAA this year, one with Toledo, the other with Durham, and now he's going to pitch for the Reds, his first game in the big leagues this year.
So he's going to meet new teammates here. I mean, that's part of the assimilation into a new team. And you know, there's been a lot of that going on with the Cincinnati Reds. This is a very different lineup than the last time we saw him. Of course, Joey Votto is out for the year. He has an injury, so we won't see him until 2023, and so that's a big miss. And, of course, they've also traded away Drury, who is having a really big year for them, their best player. And so the trading deadline made the Reds a different team, and the Cardinals are going to see him again for the first time since then. And I think the key is you don't have to think sweep here, but you like to win the series. That's honestly what the Cardinals need to do here on out as they begin play with a 6-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers.
The last time the Cardinals played here, Miles Michaelis was the losing pitcher to Tyler Mahle in a 6-3 game. That was on the 24th of July, and that was the first of 2 losses back-to-back for the Cardinals as they lost the first game in Toronto. That's the last time they've lost back-to-back games.
Yeah, they're used to winning right now, and Michaelis had won the day before, or at least the start before, against Cincinnati, and that was at home. So I'd like to see him just pretend he's still pitching at Busch Stadium today. And, it is tough. You pointed it out early that there were a couple of instances during that time frame where the Cardinals had a couple of starting pitchers that had to go up against the same team for the second time, and that can be a challenge. And I think it's always a challenge pitching at this ballpark. It's 404 to straightaway center, but the ball, if that's right, and the ball carries very, very well to center, and it certainly does to right field here. Those bleachers beyond the right center field wall look very inviting.
Rain in the area, rain in the forecast tonight, but hopefully we'll get the game in. The wind is blowing out right to left field. The Cardinals at Great American Ballpark, Mr. Pauly.
Indeed they are, and we hope to get this game in. According to the Cincinnati Reds, they just said it about 20 minutes ago. The start of tonight's game is officially delayed due to rain. The Reds saying that they will provide more information as it does become available. The rain coming down as we speak at Great American Ballpark, and right now the radar doesn't look fantastic for getting this thing started anytime soon, but it does look okay for us eventually getting it in, as long as they are willing to wait for a bit. So we'll just see how that all plays out. You never really know with the weather, but right now, tarp on the field, and we are officially in delay mode. But we will continue on with the Ameren Total Access pregame show. Up next, a conversation with Mike Claiborne and also Daniel Guerrero, who covers the Cardinals minor league system for STL Today and also STL Pinch Hits. That's next. This is the Ameren Total Access show on the Cardinals Radio Network.
Long live the moment with Topps baseball cards. Collecting is fun for both kids and adults. Packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from baseball players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Find packs at local retail and hobby shops and on Topps.com. For more information on products and promotions, follow along on social media with @Topps and visit Topps.com to start your own collection today.
Clarkson Eye Care is a proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals. Clarkson doctors know that having excellent vision isn't just about how well you see. It's how you see yourself and the world around you. Our eye doctors are here for you to provide the personalized care you need when you need it. Because true care is about more than eyeglasses and contact lenses. It's about you. Not just what you see, but how you see it. Clarkson Eye Care. Eye care with you at the center.
Hey, this is Tim Sinclair, public address voice of Fighting Illini basketball. You're used to hearing me talk about my favorite team during the games, but now I'll also be talking about my favorite fan store before the games. I've teamed up with Game Day Spirit to get you ready for the season. Just head to one of Game Day's 2 locations, at the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, or at 6th and Green in Campustown. Or check out GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, official fan store of the Fighting Illini.
Is your vehicle running right?
I got a quote from the dealership, but Clay Dooley was a lot more affordable.
Highly qualified mechanics in the Clay Dooley shop can get your vehicle performing at its best.
Clay Dooley Tire and Auto with insanely good service. Parham's treating his team right with over 30 years of experience and dedication, getting your vehicle running well. Visit Clay Dooley Tire and Auto at 311 South Neal Street, 1 block from downtown Champaign. Online 24/7 at claydooley.com.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing.
For 111 years, Westville has had a Labor Day celebration. Parmalee will be joined by Central Illinois-based Natu Band. Gates for the concert open at 5 on Saturday, September 3rd. The show starts at 7:30. There's a party pit section close to the stage, and you can get those tickets now. Party pit passes for Parmalee on Saturday, September 3rd are buy one, get one for half price at WestvilleLionsClub.net. Check out Parmalee as part of the Westville Labor Day celebration.
.org on the web.
Matt Pauley continuing on with you here on the Ameren Total Access pregame show. We will get back out to Cincinnati with John Rooney and Ricky Horton coming up in just a few moments. We just heard the first word from the booth a few minutes ago. That is presented by Geico. Switch to Geico today and see all the ways you could save. Go to geico.com. We'll turn things over to Mike Claiborne. He's got a special guest to talk a bit about the Cardinals minor league system.
Daniel Guerrero of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch is with us. He covers the minor leagues for the Cardinals farm system. And, Daniel, you see a lot of these young players coming up, so I'll start with the AAA team. We're going to have the call-ups this week. So who do you envision that you've seen that you think might warrant an opportunity to come up?
When it comes to guys who have played consistently throughout the year, guys who you look at warrant an opportunity for a call-up, Alec Burleson is the one that really comes to mind. See the consistency he's had at the plate all year long. He's improved defensively, but when you're looking at somebody who you can come in and play as a left-handed DH, come in and give you a pinch hit late in the game, I mean, that's got to be the guy that you kind of look towards as a possibility to impact this team in September.
For a guy like that, though, what is his best position?
I definitely say left field. That's where he's played most of the season with Memphis. One of the biggest things, I mean, that's just been a big transition for him. I mean, in college at Eastern Carolina, he was a two-way player. When he got to the organization, the Cardinals wanted him to focus on playing the outfield. He says he feels more comfortable. Ben Johnson, Memphis manager, says that he sees those improvements throughout the year. That's come really with his routine pregame. It's come with just him being more focused and just working on those things aside from hitting.
For you, you've seen Jordan Walker, you've seen Mason Wynn. Give me your idea on where you think they'll end up this year. Do they get a late call up to Memphis? Or where do you envision them next year when spring training rolls around?
When it comes to those two guys, Jordan Walker is the one who you could see definitely making that move, either to Memphis or maybe it could be a shock move. Nobody sees coming and winds up at Busch Stadium in September. I mean, who knows? But Jordan Walker has definitely earned that move up to Memphis. Mason Wynn hitting with a lot more power, 11 home runs since he got to Springfield, something you didn't really see a whole lot of last year with Peoria and the start of this year. I could see him ending the year with Memphis, but I mean, it also makes sense for him just to, get more comfortable down in Springfield, but definitely coming into next year, regardless if, Jordan Walker makes a surprise visit some point this year, those guys will definitely be in Memphis next year.
Well, I think it'll be a surprise if we see Walker this year because that means you start the clock on him, and I don't think you'll see that. Mason Wynn, we all know about his arm. We know he's got a great athletic skill, but I'm told he might be one of the best base runners you'll ever see as far as turning the corners and making sure that he doesn't waste a step.
It's not only that, but it's about beating out infield singles. I got to go to Springfield last weekend. Mason Wynn, his first at bat, hit a slow roller to first, and kind of confusion between first base and the pitcher of who has the bag. Mason Wynn beats it out, and then does take that extra base. I mean, he's a threat on the base paths. Just one of those guys. I mean, all around in all facets of the game. We hear about his arm. We've seen him hit with for average, hit a little bit more for power, which he never really had, but also base running and base stealing. It's something that makes him such a unique talent.
Daniel Guerrero is with us. He's with the Post-Dispatch. He covers the minor leagues for the Cardinals. All right, give me one pitcher. We know about Liberatore. We've seen some other guys come through. Give me one pitcher we should start paying closer attention to.
I'm going to go a little bit farther down the pipeline. Not September, maybe not even next year, but the guy who has had a lot of good reviews about him, a lot of great things said about him is Tink Hence. I mean, he's 19 years old. I think he just turned 20 actually. Was also a part of that Walker Wynn draft class. He's down in Low A, Palm Beach. I've been told by some players, by some coaches, that he has electric stuff, that he's a professional arm, an arm you see up in the majors. Obviously very young, still has a lot to go, still has a lot of innings to get experience with, but he's a guy who you definitely want to keep your eyes on, eventually making his way up here to the majors.
Daniel Guerrero, St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Enjoy your work this year, your rookie season. You've done a really nice job covering the minors.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, you guys have given me a warm welcome here in St. Louis, so got to thank you for that too, Claves. New city, a new job, and, glad things are working out.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Claiborne talking with Daniel Guerrero, who does really a good job covering the minor leagues. STL today, STL pinch hits as well. That's where a lot of the minor league coverage ends up, which is kind of a subside of STL today. And again, does a fantastic job covering all aspects of the minor leagues on an everyday basis. We hope to have baseball tonight. Cardinals and Reds right now in rain delay mode, but we'll come back. We'll give you our player to bank on and wrap up the Ameren Total Access pregame show right here on the Cardinals Radio Network.
It's Redbird Nation here at Margaritaville Lake Resort, Lake of the Ozarks. This lakeside paradise, nestled along the banks of beautiful Lake of the Ozarks in central Missouri, will make you feel like you hit a home run. The resort offers fun for the whole family. Make waves on the lake with boat rentals at Port of Indecision Marina after a day in the sun. Cheer on the Cardinals while grabbing a bite to eat at Land Shark Bar and Grill and chill out at the pool. Visit Margaritaville Resort, lakeoftheozarks.com to plan your escape today. Fins up.
Budweiser Brewhouse, St. Louis's iconic tap house and beer garden in the heart of Ballpark Village, has returned. Anchored by one of the world's most respected beer brands within St. Louis's premier destination for sports and entertainment, Budweiser Brewhouse is the perfect place for beer and food lovers to come together for an experience that's uniquely St. Louis. With a new menu and over 100 beers on tap, Budweiser Brewhouse is back and better than ever. For menu, visit stlballparkvillage.com.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing. You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Long's Garage in Urbana and Jasper Engines and Transmissions offer cost-effective solutions to your present engine or transmissions trouble. Avoid a costly new car purchase or high lease payments by putting new life into your present vehicle. Let Long's Garage install a Jasper remanufactured engine or transmission with a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide warranty and available premium service plan. Call Long's Garage at 367-3942. Long's Garage, 217-367-3942.
It's beginning to look a lot like fall in the Prairie Gardens greenhouses. The first mums are blooming now. They're loaded with beautiful fall color and now on sale. Find them in the PG greenhouses along with more fall garden favorites, ornamental peppers, asters, rudbeckia, and more. With PG plant experts always on hand to answer your garden questions. At Prairie Gardens, locally owned plant experts, extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
Cardinals and Reds tonight. Hopefully, rain continues to fall at Great American Ballpark. We will head there and rejoin John Rooney and Ricky Horton coming up in just a few moments. Let's go ahead and give you our player to bank on. So Chase Anderson is starting tonight for the Reds. Anderson's bugaboo throughout his career, giving up home runs. He gave up 30 home runs in 2018, 23 home runs in 2019, 2020 with Toronto, gave up 11 home runs in 10 games, 2021 with Philadelphia, gave up 10 home runs in 14 games. So he's given up a lot of home runs, and the Cardinals player who has hit the most home runs against Chase Anderson, Nolan Arenado. He has 4 career home runs against Anderson in 27 at-bats. So we'll go with Nolan Arenado tonight as our player to bank on. And that's going to wrap up this edition of the Ameren Total Access pregame show. We'll head to rainy Great American Ballpark as John Rooney and Ricky Horton will take things over. And hopefully we've got baseball at some point in the relatively near future. Not quite sure when that will be, but we'll just wait it out. But don't go anywhere. A lot more still coming up across the Cardinals radio network.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I love visiting with some of our healthcare professionals at OSF Healthcare and introducing you to some of their team. Dr. Aminat Olgan is visiting with me. So when it comes to dealing with high blood pressure, I wanted to hit on that topic today. It's something that kind of can sneak up on people, especially when they're under such stress.
I agree. Unfortunately, it's been known to be called a silent killer just because of how asymptomatic a lot of people are not aware that they have blood pressures elevated. You know, in the U.S., about 116 million people have this diagnosis, and only 1 in 4 of them have the conditions under control. So that's why we care so much about the blood pressure. And that's why, you know, every doctor's visit, we always check this to make sure that if it's not controlled, there are ways we can go about treating this condition.
Well, I know if we need more advice, we can go to OSF Healthcare's website and learn about high blood pressure and get great care, osfhealthcare.org.
To the wall, and it is gone!
St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Crack open the game with Budweiser and enjoy unrivaled flavor and refreshment. By your quality Ford dealers, the official vehicles of the St. Louis Cardinals. By Schnucks. Opt in to the free Good For You wellness program in the Schnucks Rewards app today. By Shelter Insurance. Shelter offers great rates and award-winning service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com. By Explore St. Louis. Learn about all the great things to do in St. Louis. Visit ExploreStLouis.com. By Central Bank, the hometown bank of your St. Louis Cardinals. By the Painting and Decorating Foundation. By Dynovite, treats for happy and healthy pets. Visit Dynovite.com. And by Sonic Drive-In. This is how we Sonic. Now, St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
Welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati on the banks of the Ohio River. And it's Cardinals baseball as they begin a very short 3-game road trip as the Cincinnati Reds will host them. The Cardinals have played pretty well against the Reds this year. They're 7-4 after the Reds won the season series in 2021. This is Ricky Horton. I'll be alongside John Rooney. Jim Jackson is our producer engineer, and we're glad you're with us for Cardinals baseball. Cardinals took 2 out of 3 against the Atlanta Braves over the weekend, including 2 come-from-behind victories. The Cardinals have now won 20 out of 26 games in the month of August, and they won yesterday by a score of 6-3. They were trailing late. And then Tyler O'Neill came to the plate. It was his first at-bat of the game, and this is what happened in the 8th.
O'Neill raising and lowering the bat. He swings and hits a high fly ball. That's hit to deep center. Back to the track. The wall. It's a goner! 3-run homer. Tyler O'Neill. The Cardinals lead 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a 2-home-run inning against A.J. Minter.
Tyler is in the lineup tonight, and he'll be batting behind Nolan Arenado, hoping to provide some punch as the Cardinals have Goldschmidt, Arenado, and O'Neill in the middle of the lineup. Paul Goldschmidt has homered in 4 straight games against the Cincinnati Reds. He's my pick to click here tonight. Not a tough choice at all. Cardinals have a record of 74-54, and they're in first place in the Central Division, 6 games ahead of the Brewers. And Cincinnati is in 4th place in the East. They are coming off a 4-6 road trip. where they took 2 out of 3 against the Pirates and lost 4 straight to the Phillies, and then won 2 out of 3 against the Nationals in our nation's capital. Let's take a look at our pitching matchup here tonight, and it's brought to you by Club Car Wash, the official car wash of the St. Louis Cardinals. And we will begin with the visiting St. Louis Cardinals. Oliver Marmol will have Miles Michaelis pitch here tonight. He's making start number 27. He has a record of 10-10, 3.35 ERA. And he is making his 100th start as a Cardinal. He's a 2-time All-Star. Chase Anderson is making his 2022 big league debut. He's been in AAA all summer long, 7-3 record, 4.5. But in his career, he has 56 big league victories. Cardinals have seen him a lot. He's 2-2 in 14 games, 12 of them starts with an ERA of just 3. So there's your starters. Miles Michaelis for the Cardinals, Chase Anderson for the Cincinnati Reds. I'll have the lineups for you next.
Tapman's Towing is looking for you. If you want a career with a great local company, it's Tapman's Towing, paying top dollar for experience. If you have an excellent driving record, good oral and written communication skills, are willing to work hard and want to be paid top dollar, visit tapmanstowing.com. Tapman's is looking for CDL drivers, record drivers, and dispatchers. Work with a local company that rewards hard work. Tapman's Towing. Visit tapmanstowing.com to apply today.
Tapman's Towing. You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
It's beginning to look a lot like fall at Prairie Gardens. New fall home decor collections, handmade wreaths and arrangements, fall candles and scents, plus more, all ready for your fall home and your fall garden. The first fall mums are blooming now and on sale. Find them in the peachy greenhouses with other fall garden favorites, ornamental peppers, asters, and more. Ready now at Prairie Gardens. Extraordinary gardening, home decor, and more.
Hey, Illini fans, Jets Pizza is hiring both full and part-time team members. If you enjoy people and you're looking for a fast-paced, high-energy job, then Jets is the place for you. Need some extra cash? Starting pay is $12 an hour, and there's potential for promotion based on attitude and performance, and you'll get a good employee discount. The hardest part of the job is being around that amazing aroma of the homemade pizza sauce. Drive for Jets. Be a part of the Jets family today. Apply online at jetspizza.com. Jets Pizza, better because it has to be.
Fine.
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark. We are getting close to our first pitch, we hope, here tonight, as there have been some rain issues in the area. The tarp has been down most of the afternoon. The players did not take batting practice on the field today. We had some windy conditions, a little bit of rain, but it's still iffy in terms of when the actual start time will be. But we are confident that we're going to have Cardinal baseball for you tonight, as it is the first of 3 between the Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. Let's take a look at the lineups. Oliver Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, will have Lars Nootbaar in the leadoff spot again, and Lars will play right field. Brendan Donovan will play second base and bat second. He has a 10-game hitting streak and a on-base percentage over 400. Paul Goldschmidt will be the DH and hit third, with Nolan Arenado playing third, hitting cleanup. Tyler O'Neill will be in center field. Big home run for him yesterday, and he will bat fifth with Albert Pujols. He is hitting 400 in the month of August. He's going to play first base and bat behind Tyler, with Corey Dickerson in left field hitting seventh. Andrew Kisner will do the catching. He has a modest 5-game hitting streak. And Tommy Edman will play shortstop for St. Louis, with Michaelis on the mound. Jonathan India will lead off for David Bell. He plays second base. Very good player, as he was the Rookie of the Year a season ago. Jake Fraley in right field bats second. Kyle Farmer is the shortstop. He hits third. Donovan Solano, former Cardinal minor leaguer, will hit cleanup and play third base. T.J. Friedel in center. Nick Senzel, the DH. Stuart Fairchild in left field. Colin Moran, the veteran, will play first base and bat eighth. And the rookie catcher, Chucky Robinson, will bat ninth for Cincinnati, with Chase Anderson on the mound. First pitch, we hope, comes up next.
Discover a great getaway in historic St. Charles, Missouri, just 20 minutes west of St. Louis. St. Charles offers the value and safety of a smaller town, but with activities and attractions that really measure up. Try your luck at the casino, shop Main Street, or tour the first state capital. There's plenty to do. Plus, you're close to all the fun in St. Louis. Discover a great getaway. Discover St. Charles. Plan your visit at discoverstcharles.com. Produced in cooperation with the Missouri Division of Tourism.
What do Ford and your St. Louis Cardinals have in common? One heck of a lineup. That's what. From Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years, to the SUVs with the highest owner loyalty, like America's all-time best-selling Explorer, the Built Wild Bronco, and the versatile Escape. Visit your quality Ford dealers for exclusive offers on the official truck and SUV of your St. Louis Cardinals. Based on IHS market 1946 to current U.S. total new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs. Based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
Now there are even more reasons to switch to Verizon, the network America relies on.
For real?
Yep, for real. Turn in your old phone and get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 free with select 5G unlimited plans.
Definitely switching.
Totally. Everybody's switching to the network America relies on. Verizon. 5G ultra-wideband available in select areas. $999.99 device payment purchase with new smartphone line on select 5G unlimited plans required. $200 Verizon e-gift card with Ford. Less $800 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
Yo, it's your favorite artist, Seals. Meet me at the ballpark on Monday, September 5th for African American Heritage Day. With the purchase of a special themed ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals cap designed by me. Come early for a pregame Heritage celebration in the Budweiser Terrace. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/theme. Ski!
Welcome back to Great American Ballpark. We hoped that we would have baseball for you out of the break, but unfortunately the rain has continued here, and the tarp is still on here at Great American Ballpark, and really no movement right now to do anything different as we're trying to wait out the weather. There are a couple of windows of opportunity going forward, but this may be a lengthy rain delay here tonight. The pitchers have not made their way to the bullpens, and at the current time, there are no players in either dugouts as we're hoping to have baseball tonight between the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Reds, again, are 4-7 against the Cardinals, but they've been playing up and down. They've got a whole bunch of new players on their team, but they always give the Cardinals fits, and, of course, it's the last three games. I do see Ollie Marmol now checking out his weather app in the Cardinals dugout down to the left, but the celebration here that we're hoping to have over the next few days is the fact that it'll be the last time that Yadier Molina and Albert Pujols are here at Great American Ballpark, and really felt that in Chicago the last time those two players were there, that there was there was a feeling that it's real now, and I feel the same way about the way it is here in Cincinnati. A lot of tradition with this team, a lot of great games here, a lot of competitive games, thinking about Tony La Russa, Dusty Baker, all of the great moments that the Cardinals have had over the years, and Yadier Molina and, of course, Albert Pujols right in the middle of a lot of that. And Miles Michaelis is supposed to be the one pitching today, but we are in a rain delay, and it is presented by Safelite Auto Glass. Trust Safelite Auto Glass. Go online to safelite.com to schedule service.
Ricky, check out the nice, colorful live radar screen we have on the scoreboard.
It's got a lot of colors in it, doesn't it? There's some blue and some green and some yellow
purple.
And some red and some purple. And that doesn't look good, does it? I mean, it's actually not really raining that hard at the moment, but it's been steady. And it just has not let up. There's a lot of fans here that have taken cover underneath the overhangs, and the message on the board, same message we had last night with a 59-minute rain delay in St. Louis when the Cardinals finished off the series against the Atlanta Braves. It says that we are in a weather delay, and we anticipate storms in the area. Please take shelter in the concourse, and this will most likely result in the delay of the start of the game. Thank you. Well, it is delayed, so we are officially in a rain delay. Cardinals hoping to have Miles Michaelis pitch tonight against Chase Anderson. And in the series, the scheduled starters will be Dakota Hudson and Justin Dunn in Game 2, Jose Quintana and Mike Minor, a left-hander, in Game 3. And so most assuredly Albert would be in the lineup for the third game of this series. And we'll see where that goes as we look ahead. Don't want to project too far, but the Cardinals do have an off day on Thursday, and so do the Cincinnati Reds. So certainly possibilities there as we see how this series plays out in terms of the weather. There may be some rain tomorrow as well, and it's supposed to clear up on Wednesday. But as of now, it's still raining here at Great American Ballpark. And one thing we have for you, we found something we think you're going to love. We are, of course, in Cincinnati. I mentioned the tradition of this team and their great history. Think about Sparky Anderson. You think about the Big Red Machine. Well, we have an interview that we think that you will like. And it is an interview that Mike Claiborne did back in 2011. It was actually April 22nd, 2011. And this is Mike Claiborne. And he is visiting with Marty Brennaman, the Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Reds, 36 years at the microphone for the Cincinnati Reds, and always great to see Marty over the years coming to Cincinnati. And he had great respect in the broadcasting world, and still does, for the Cardinal fans, too. One of the things I've always loved about Marty is very competitive guy, but he loved the Cardinal fans and, of course, the Red fans. He was the 2000 Ford Frick Award winner, so he's a Hall of Famer, and he retired in 2019. But we think you'll like this interview with Mike Claiborne and the great Marty Brennaman.
Marty Brennaman is our guest. He's the Hall of Famer, and you've seen a lot and you've done a lot, and obviously there are a lot of things that you can look back on your career. What are some of the things that stand out for you when you think about all the things you've had a chance to do?
Well, I've been fortunate to be associated with 3 World Championship teams and 2 teams that arguably would be considered one of the top teams, if not one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the history of baseball, in the Big Red Machine teams in 75 and 76, and being around the great players that made up that ball club. You know, the Benches and the Roses and the Morgans and the Perezes and the Fosters and the Griffeys and the Geronimos and Concepcion and people like that. And then the 1990 team, which is my favorite team of all time, because when that season began, nobody expected that team to win anything. And it went into first place on opening night and never vacated to become the first team since divisional play started in 1969 to go wire to wire. And they go in and they beat a very good Pittsburgh team with Bonds and Bonilla and Van Slyke and people like that in 6 games. And then they play the Oakland A's, managed by Tony, who people were talking dynasty, and they beat them 4 straight. It was over in the bat of an eye, and quite honestly, from my perspective, I thought that Pirate team was much better than the Oakland team that had McGuire and had Canseco and that bunch. And you know, being around the great players that I've been around, and it's been a great run for me. I have been blessed. There are not too many guys that in our business, being as transient as it is, everybody thinks the grass is always greener. I got news for you. No, it ain't. And to be around for the same club, that to me is the most special thing that I'm most proud of.
I want to go back to that Big Red Machine. For those who had a chance to watch them, you saw them every night. They could come in and break up anyone's furniture, couldn't they? I mean, from top to bottom, there wasn't an easy out there, and you had some guys that could handle the bat that were called pitchers from time to time, too.
Well, they did. Don Gullett could swing the bat with the best of them, but it was the kind of team that, especially at home, they could go into the 7th or 8th inning and be 3 or 4 runs behind, and nobody would go anywhere because they knew that more often than not, the lightning would start, and when the game ended, they would have come back and won the game. The thing that impressed me so much about that team, they carried themselves with such a degree of dignity. They never, ever got into a fight because the other team thought they were purposely rubbing their nose in it. Sparky Anderson had a rule that from the 6th inning on, if he was leading by 6 runs or more, nobody stole a base and nobody was allowed to hit a 3-0 pitch. And so they did not do anything to incur the wrath of the other team, other than doing what they were supposed to do, given the level of talent they had, and that was to beat your brains out, and that's what they did. But it was fun to watch them play, boy, because they had everything. They had great defense, they had great power, they had great speed, they had a starting rotation that down through the years has now been given more credit than it deserved at the time, because Sparky had the reputation being known, God bless him, as as Captain Hook. His rule was, if you take me into the 7th inning with a lead, I'm not going to let you lose the game. Well, the mentality back then was different. Starting pitchers went out with the idea of pitching 9 innings.
Right.
And they didn't want to come out.
And there was no pitch count that we keep track of like today.
No, and he had a rule. When I walk to the mound and I stick my hand out, do not open your mouth. I don't want to hear you tell me you want to stay in. When I've stuck my hand out, you put the ball in and wait till the relief pitcher gets there, and then you go to the dugout. And they had a pitcher in their rotation, a left-hander by the name of Freddie Norman, who had a great screwball. Mm-hmm. And he was his most intense competitor I think I've ever been around. And when he saw Sparky leave the dugout, he would walk out towards second base. And Sparky would get to the mound, and he realized after a while, this is the way he is. Mm-hmm. So he cut Freddie some slack. He would walk to the mound, he would wait, and Freddie would ultimately turn around and walk back to the mound, put his ball in his hand, would never look at him. He was so mad, and wait till the relief pitcher and then take a hike. It was a great mix of players. There were differences. Pete Rose and Johnny Bench did not like each other. It was.
I think that still exists, doesn't it?
No, you know what? They've smoked the peace pipe.
Good.
And thank God they have come to a meeting of the minds. But they lockered at opposite ends of the clubhouse, and that wasn't by accident. That was purposeful. But when they went on the field, whatever personal differences they had, they were able to put them aside and go out and play.
And, I think that's a great point you make, because when you're with a guy for over 6 months, you're going to have some disagreements. Mm-hmm. And, the pros figure out how to get through it and still go out and produce. There is a picture in Mike Shannon's restaurant of the 67 team. It was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
I remember
with
it well.
Brock and Cepeda and Flood. I mean, really good team.
Yep.
And every player that I've known that was part of that team, when they look at that picture, they always say those guys knew how to play. And fundamentally, they weren't going to be beat. They were pros. And I think the Reds was that next team. We're talking about the 67 team. I think the Reds were that next team that knew how to get it done and did it in a professional manner. And I think that's something we sometimes lack in the game today.
Oh, I agree. And maybe the game has changed a little bit. I've had managers tell me that, with the increased offensive threats almost from every club now with the way the game is played, that rule of 6 runs or more from the 6th inning on no longer holds true.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. But I'm an old school guy, and I don't believe in purposely rubbing the other team's nose in it, especially when you're clearly the better team. Just go out, play the game, keep your mouth shut, and more often than not, based on talent, you're going to win.
Talk a little bit about Sparky Anderson. I know Tony thought the world of him, and we've had a chance to know him a little bit when he was a broadcaster. Delightful man.
Well, he was one of my dear friends in life. I had 2 mentors when I came to this job in 1974, scared of my own shadow, in Joe Nuxall, God rest his soul, who I worked with for 31 years on the radio, and Sparky. And they, between the two of them, taught me the do's and don'ts of our business as it relates to Major League Baseball teams. And people rarely ever saw the kind of temper that he possessed, and rarely ever did he need to show it because the team was so good and so consistently successful on the field. But periodically I would see a side of him that most people never saw. I can remember a series in Houston back in the 70s after the Big Red Machine era, but with most of those players still intact. And they go into Houston and they get beat 3 straight. And they get on the bus to go to the airport at 12 o'clock at night. And Johnny Bench and Bob Bailey, who was an extra guy on our club, was back in the back of the bus, and they were smoking cigars, and they were yucking it up and having a big time. And Sparky told his third base coach, Alex Grammas, he said, Greek, that's what he called him, he said, do me a favor and go back there and tell them to put the cigars out and keep quiet. We just got beat 3 straight by a team that we had no business losing to. Alex went back there, and things quieted down for about 3 minutes, and then it started up again. And about 2 minutes later, he got up, he went to the back of the bus, and you could hear him from the front. And now you're talking about a catcher who then everybody knew was one day going to go into the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And he didn't care about stepping on toes. It happened very, very infrequently, but when it did, he was man enough to deal with the problem. But Mike, he was a wonderful man. It was nothing put on. He fed off the fans, and they in turn fed off of him. He fractured the King's English. He knew he did. He was not an educated man, but a very humble person, and there was so much good to learn from him if you just took the time and watched the way he carried himself. And I just felt blessed to be able to have called him not only a business acquaintance, but over the years a very, very good friend.
What is it about the central corridor of this country where we have people like you, Ernie Harwell in Detroit? Obviously, we've had some great ones here, and Jack Buck and now Mike Shannon, where you guys have become the true fiber of what baseball is all about in this part of the country. And obviously in L.A., you've got Vin Scully, but you can go around some other places, Marty, and I'm not sure if that exists. What do you think the common denominator might be?
Well, the one constant, the one constant between all the guys you named, we're all old guys.
Survivors is what you are.
Well,
okay.
I think that we had the benefit of learning early on, realizing early on that we got a good thing going, and I don't think any of us felt when we started we wanted to make all the money in the world. Not to say that we don't live very comfortably, because we do, but it was important for me, and I'm sure Mike would echo the same sentiment, although his background goes back to when he was an outstanding player and then he gravitated to the microphone. You like a town you live in. Why leave for a little bit more money where the cost of living is probably going to offset how much money increase you get in a salary? And so we also know, with all due respect to television, this sport was made for radio.
Yes.
It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to baseball, and it's the greatest thing that ever happened to radio. People give me a choice of doing TV or doing radio. It's a slam dunk. There's no doubt what I want to do, and I've been blessed to be able to do it. So, and Cincinnati is a radio town, and St. Louis is a radio town. Always has been, always will be. I don't care if they televise 150 games. It's still a radio town first. And so we are lucky to be behind the mic each night our clubs play, and thank God we've been around as long as we have.
What advice do you give broadcasters today? Because the game, the industry has changed a great deal, and because of information, because of perception, what advice do you give people?
Well, I give young kids, college kids or high school kids going to college, the same advice today that I gave them years ago. I think, for one thing, you got to be willing to go anywhere in the country to work for whatever the amount of money is they're willing to pay you. Mm-hmm. And the best thing you can do, I ask all these young guys the same thing. Are you in love? And they look at me like I have two heads. What are you talking about? Are you in love? Are you contemplating getting married? Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, they'll say, well, yeah, I've got a girl and we're engaged. I say, well, pal, let me tell you something. Hopefully she has an inheritance, or she is capable of getting a job making a lot of money, because when you start, you ain't going to.
That's the only way you're going to eat.
I tell young guys the best thing you can do is to stay single as long as you can until you establish yourself. Don't worry about moving up in the industry, because if you're any good, somebody will find you out. And be content with where you are to grasp as much of the knowledge of the industry as you can and improve at a rate where there's no pressure brought to bear, because you're not making enough money to have any pressure brought to bear on you. And that to me is essentially, it's a tough business to get into, but once you get into it, if you have any ability at all, you're going to eventually arrive at a level that hopefully will be very, very satisfying to you.
Well, I'm glad you're in the business. You've always been a person I've respected over the years, and listening to you and certainly having a chance to get to know you a little bit. And I really appreciate you spending the time with us this evening.
You're one of my favorites, Michael. Thank you,
sir. I
Thanks,
appreciate
pal.
it. That's the Hall of Famer, folks. He's Marty Brennaman.
You've been listening to an interview that was done on the 22nd of April in 2011. That was our Mike Claiborne, who did a great job with that interview. Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman, who retired as a Reds broadcaster back in 2019. A Hall of Famer indeed. And I hope you enjoyed the stories. I listened to that interview a couple of times myself here tonight as we are in the middle of a rain delay. And I just loved it. I thought he said some great things. And, he, of course, great respect for the Cardinal organization. And he was a Cincinnati Reds guy, or still is a Cincinnati Reds guy through and through. And we just miss seeing him on a daily basis here at the ballpark. But that was Marty Brennaman and Mike Claiborne. Again, Hall of Famer Marty Brennaman. And we are in a rain delay presented by SafeLight Auto Glass. Trust SafeLight. Go online to safelight.com to schedule service. And as I look at my app, John, Rooney already told you, there's a lot of colors on the radars, and we're looking at a radar up on the scoreboard, the out-of-town scoreboard, which is above the right field bleachers, and a lot of colors as we see how the rain is moving through the Cincinnati area. And the rain really hasn't stopped. In some moments it's picked up, and the last check that I had on my RainAware app, it had 3 straight hours of rain. So we'll see whether or not we do get that window that we thought would happen. Again, it's not crazy rain right now, but it's a steady rain. And so that's the situation here. We're hoping to have baseball, but we're not sure. Miles Michaelis, Chase Anderson, the scheduled starters. And we'll have more after the break.
Do you know who some of the most avid readers of Cardinals Magazine are? It's Cardinal alumni. Our former players tell me time and again that Cardinals Magazine is one of their favorite ways to stay connected to the birds on the bat.
And you know, Ricky, I've heard the same thing. They feel like they're still coming to the ballpark each day when they're enjoying the impressive lineup of feature stories in every issue of Cardinals Magazine.
Cardinals Magazine helps you really get to know the current players, not only their stories in uniform, but who they are off the field and how they got to where they are.
And it doesn't stop with the stories on current players. No one does a better job giving fans a truer picture of everything happening on the field, inside the ballpark, and all over Cardinals Nation. Even stories on our Cardinals alumni.
Join our former players who enjoy the classic coverage of Cardinals Magazine. Subscribe for yourself and your favorite fan at cardinals.com/magazine or 314-345-9000.
Cardinals Magazine. It's all here.
What do Ford and your St. Louis Cardinals have in common? One heck of a lineup. That's what. From Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years, to the SUVs with the highest owner loyalty, like America's all-time best-selling Explorer, the built-wild Bronco, and the versatile Escape. Visit your quality Ford dealers for exclusive offers on the official truck and SUV of your St. Louis Cardinals. Based on IHS Market 1946 to current U.S. total new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs. Based on 1977 to 2021 CY total sales.
Webster University's online courses offer a value-based curriculum developed so you receive the well-rounded education you need to take your career to the next level. Choose from over 60 online bachelor's, master's, and certificate programs that are flexible, affordable, and portable. As a pioneer in online education since